Hi, this is Chris McKaylee with a video podcast on vote changes in the California legislature. So we asked the question, are vote changes allowed in the California legislature? And the simple answer is yes, although there are definitely different rules between the two houses, the Senate and the Assembly, and so some explanation of those differences is appropriate. Now, a vote change is when a legislator chooses to change his or her vote on a measure either in committee or on the floor, a bill, a constitutional amendment, a resolution, or even a motion. The Assembly rules and the Senate rules address this issue in their respective houses. First, we have Assembly Rule 104, which concerns voting of members. And basically, Assembly Rule 104 states that a member of the Assembly, prior to adjournment for that day, and in the absence of anyone objecting, that they can ask the chief clerk to either add their vote to a previously announced vote or to change it so long as the outcome of that vote is not changed. There's also Assembly Rule 106, and that is specifically on voting and vote changes. And so that one is, again, so long as the outcome of the vote is not changed, then the chief clerk can record any vote change after the member has announced it to the full assembly. So as a result of these two assembly rules, in the California State Assembly, any assembly member can in fact change his or her vote, even after the presiding officer has announced the final vote on a measure or on a motion, so long as that vote change doesn't change the outcome of the final vote. In other words, if a vote change would result in a failed bill now passing, or a passing bill to now fail, then that vote change cannot be made. How about in the other house? Well, Senate Rule 44 concerns voting on roll calls, and Senate Rule 44 says that whenever a roll call is required by the Constitution or the rules, then every member that's within the Senate chambers has to answer aye or no when the member's name is called. It also provides under Senate Rule 44 that a senator may not vote or change the senator's vote after the announcement of the vote by the presiding officer. So in the state Senate, in the California legislature, a senator cannot change his or her vote after the final vote has been announced by the presiding officer. Now, however, prior to that time, such as when a bill is on call and the call is lifted, at that time the senator can change his or her vote. But once the final vote is announced, that's it. Now, there are two senators who are actually accepted. They are an exception to this rule. And that is on that particular day, if they were not there for the vote, the president pro tem of the Senate and the minority floor leader can actually add their vote on, in the absence of any objection, to any vote that was previously announced. However, there is one caveat. By adding on to the vote, aye or no, they cannot change the outcome of the ultimate vote, the ultimate outcome. So they can add on an aye vote if the bill is passing, or add on a no vote if the bill is failing. But if the pro tem or the minority floor leader add on to a vote after it's already been announced, their add-on vote cannot change the outcome of that bill. So vote changes in the California legislature are fully allowed in the state assembly. On the state Senate side, however, they are prohibited once the final vote has been announced, again, with the exception of the two party leaders.